So you spent time at a large corporate, like you mentioned Corning. You've done the startup world. What are the big differences as an employee working for these two different types of organizations? How are they similar? How are they different?
So they both have pros and cons. I'm kind of a startup person at heart, so I may flavor it more from that standpoint there. Um, so a lot of processes and sort of structure in your thought process, you can get that by working in a large company. That's very important, especially as the company, as a startup is trying to grow and scale. In very early stages of a startup, everything is more haphazard because you're you're kind of on all cylinders, right? Whatever works, you're gonna do everything. But as you get to a certain growth stage, you want to be able to scale. You want to know what's driving certain things. So having processes can actually make it more seamless. So there are ways where the process can actually be an enabler and get more people on the same page. When you're going from 10 employees to like 50 employees, already you're 5x in terms of number of people. So the communication that you may have had when you're 10 people, it's just easier to get everyone in a room and get everyone on the same page. But when you're 50 people, it becomes a little harder. So understanding some of those processes to make sure that everyone's on the same page, I think corporate sort of like background and experience definitely helps you. On the flip side, corporates, everyone hears about this politics. There's also everyone's in a box. You are expected to do this, and you can do more, but then you have to be careful about that you're not stepping on other people's toes, or if others shouldn't feel like you're encroaching into their territory or anything like that. There are ways to do it, and I have done it, and I'll talk about that too. So that is a big disadvantage. Whereas in a startup, everyone's goal is the success of the startup. No one's really, believe me when I say there's still politics in a startup, so it never goes away. But underlying, everyone wants the startup to be successful. So there is at least a unifying kind of North Star. So which also means that if you see there's an opportunity or a gap, it's up to you to jump in and fill that gap. You don't have to wait for permission. And I found that if you do a good job, you can elevate yourself pretty quickly in that environment because you're able to showcase your abilities much faster. It is also kind of a sink or swim. Not everyone's cut out for that kind of pressure, so to speak. There's always a go associated with startups, and that again, there's nothing good or bad. That just is not suited for everyone, right? So you need to understand what drives you and what motivates you. So that's another big difference between a startup and a corporate. I did mention that in a corporate, you're kind of stuck to your bucket or box. One way I've avoided it, and I've been in multiple big companies besides Corning, I also worked at Dell. One of the things I've done is I would set up one-on-one, and I would say, hey, I'm looking to learn this aspect. How can I help you? And now you can do it with their permission. They've identified gaps, and they'll tell you what areas you can assist. So I've found ways to sort of, even in a large company like Dell with tens of thousands of employees, to expand my scope beyond my box of, I used to do strategy and corp dev when I was at Dell. So I was able to do product management and product innovation, even though my title was strategy and corp dev in a large company like Dell. So there's always ways to do that. So you just need to find what fits your profile and what you enjoy.